Sunday. These are the first words that I've spoken aloud today. Alright. Wow. They sound like the present. So, we are back in Godot. And I pulled up Minesweeper Sweeper even. So we'd see kind of what we're working with. It's something I threw together pretty quickly, right? But I think there's some things we could definitely do to add some more things to it. I think when I was thinking about the stream this last week, I was of two minds. I'm always of two minds. I'm always thinking like, there's always this internal debate. So on the one hand, we could potentially move on and work on other things, but maybe there's something else that we could add to here that would be worthwhile to practice or to figure out, that would take longer to get to if we move on to the next practice project, right? So because I'll go back to this thing, right? So we have a whole sequence of game projects, right? Starting with Pong and to Breakouts, now to Minesweeper. With a platformer, I identified some things that I wanted to figure out around being able to save progress and have level progression. Have like a like in Super Mario World where you have a overworld that you can move between levels, something like that maybe. And figuring out what are the implications of that for how we organize things. And then doing a tower defense where we have pathing, and maybe we are doing isometric tiles for that game. Although an isometric map for a platformer could be interesting too. Might be too much too soon. That's what I'm trying to balance, right? It's like for each of these little game projects, they are conceptually pretty basic, and we're not trying to make a game to sell or we're trying to keep, especially early on, what the scope of the thing that we're trying to do fairly small, and identifying specific things we're trying to figure out. And so thinking about this, what are other things we could do in Minesweeper that we could do without making it a different game or going way too far? So a couple of things I was thinking about was animated tiles. So we just started using the tile map here. So we have the tile map layer in our texture, our tiles atlas, our tile set, tile map. So we have that, but we could do animated ones. I could start with, maybe we'll do a little drawing and work on a better mine tile and do some animation of an explosion. Could be a thing. And then I don't know how far we'll go down the road. I think it's interesting to look at what it would be like to make a what am I trying to say? So when you publish let's see, how do we do that? How do we do that from here? Project export. Yes, and we don't have any presets yet. One of the things that I played around with on our first project on Pong actually was setting up things in GitHub Actions to use the exporter and export Windows binary, Linux binary, a web version, and there is support for Android, right? So we can make a mobile version, and that's about as far as the thinking has gotten there. Except for the fact that within the game, obviously the main interaction is a left click, so probably that would just be like tapping in mobile. But there's also a right click for placing a flag. It's not giving me a lot of okay. Yeah, try that again. Can I please have a reveal? Well, that's a reveal. I was just trying to get to the point where, I guess I can just put a flag anywhere. Anyway, right clicking places a flag, right? Or removes it. So how do we do that at mobile? It's kind of a question that I would want to know the answer to. And there may be some other considerations there. What does it just look like to like export a Godot game? We're using the compatibility renderer, which lets us publish for mobile. I think maybe the other ones don't. I forget what the forward plus gives us better performance for more complex scenes. I recall that from the game, like the project setup. So some options there. And then something else that I was thinking about in terms of things is in our first game we added a music track for background music. Would it be possible to what would it look like to have the game choose tracks based on what's going on in the game state, right? So one idea that came up was to have it so that maybe what would this look like? Also terrible. I guess mine has to be here, right? Nope, it has to be there. Okay, cool. Well, anyway, I never said I was any good at Minesweeper. Which is fun. I saw a code bullet video the other day come out that was like initially, I think it, a good way to kind of present that video was to like start with like a brute force approach, but kind of dived into it's kind of funny. Yeah. Anyway, so just like diving into how do you solve Minesweeper programmatically, and kind of the enumerating all the different possible locations of mines once you are in a situation where there's not a deterministic answer, right? Like once you see this 2 here and you know there are 2 mines here, you know that all the adjacent squares have no mines. But then where do you go from there, right? Of like, okay, well there's not a mine here. And anyway, that's another thing that we could potentially do with Minesweeper, is that a feature that I rarely use is like, but I did use once. I started to use when we were doing Minesweeper inside of the loot dungeon games inside of our modded Minecraft playthrough, which is to be able to right click. I'm glad I didn't place a flag on the tile, but if you right click on a number, it should reveal all the adjacent tiles if the number of flags equals that number. So that's a feature that we could implement here to make it a more fully featured Minesweeper. So these are some of the things that I think I will try to work on today. And in fact, we have a few to-dos left from last time. So we didn't really get to the game over fully, or did we? Or did I just forget to? I guess we did partially. We got to the bad end. There we go. Game over, exit. So I guess we did that, right? Or do we want to restart? I mean, exit takes us back here. Maybe we just want to restart. There we go. So let's start with that, and then we need to handle winning, which means I have to win. Or I could, I could force a win. All right. So how does this work? I know we have a game manager, and we have a game over signal, and that connects to. No, that's not related. So game over panel. Okay, so there's a game over panel right here. I see. So that it's hidden, and then there's a button. Can we see that? There we go. All right. So let's just add another button. In fact, let's rename this button to be exit. And then, do I have a context menu button? No. Is there a shortcut key to add shell node? Control A. Let's see. Control A? Yes. All right. Keyboard shortcuts. Button. Yeah. And then F2. We'll rename this to restart button. And we'll put in restart. And we will connect this up to. Are we connecting it to? What if we connected to reset game? What if? So what is the exit button connected to right now? It's connected to on game over panel exit pressed. So that is restart work. We're on game manager, game over, pauses the game and brings us here. So we don't want to do that. What does restart look like? Oh, hey, on game menu, restart game. So game manager, restart level, resume game. Can we just do game manager, restart level from here? We'll just make a function on game. Yep. What is reset game a thing, or is that hallucination? That is a thing. So what does restart level do? What's the shortcut key? The hotkey. The hotcut, apparently, to follow. Go to definition F12. That's not a thing. It's interesting. Yeah, okay, so we can do that. Go to no. Huh. Really? What do you mean? Game manager. There is no restart. Oh, you got me. You really got me. No. Okay, so I wrote this 2 weeks ago. I see. So we haven't implemented restart level yet. Okay, that makes sense. Right, so this is from the main menu. In fact, I think I have a to-do in here to make restart work on the pause menu, which is presumably what this is calling into. So if this is on the main script, then why do I need let's see, where are we? Instead of doing this, can we right, so what does reset game do on that game node? Scrolling.
I saw it when I walked, boy.
Reset game just regenerates everything and unpauses the game. Yeah, because even if we are restarting, we don't want to play the same map because you've already seen where the mines is. That would be not what we want. We just want to save us a click, right? Instead of going back to the main menu, we want to just skip the step of like clicking new game again. So think about how I want this to work. Reset game is game started in Met. And then game started is what, so it's here that calls reset game. So does that mean I mean we can implement restart level by just, is that the same thing as okay, so we just need to change this to be like call reset game. Resume game is a function that exists. Yeah, that just calls game menu and pause. Okay. Game started emit from reset game, game manager, and then inside of the game script, okay, we hide the game over panel. We call reset game. I think I like the decision of just saying, hey, we're gonna call I guess here I'm just gonna call it reset game. Reset game then emits the signal. And that ends up calling our reset function up here. But it could do other things, right? The signal is connected to reset game, but it could be connected to other things, and that just like ties everything together. Let's go with that. So is that oh right, and then here we need to actually pick the thing that we just made. So let's restart pressed. Connect. All right. So, if we restart our game, new game, let's quickly lose. There we go. And now we have a restart. And that just takes us back here. And then we have a large map. There we go. And we can exit, and that takes us back to here. All right, so that is handle game over, reveal map, show buttons to exit or restart. Isn't it supposed to let me check it off? That was the, okay, whatever. It's done. Okay. And then we want to handle a win. So can I win? Oh, interesting. So what's going on here? We have a bug. When you change the map size, it resets everything, but the tiles over here are still drawn and don't get undrawn. So when we change the map size, we update the tile map. Yeah, to do that to do was done. Map.clear. No, we don't need to set the tile size. That's not true. So let's restart. See if that fixed it. when we update the tile, when we redraw the map, we want to reset it first. So if we go medium and then back to small, then it's fixed. Large, medium, small. All right. Now, can we win this? Why? Okay, cool. Let's see. So, I think I'm just gonna pick somewhere else on the map and hope I'm lucky. So one out of 8 chance. Okay. Great. Yeah. If I could just get an area revealed, that would be super helpful. Yeah, like that. All right, cool. Now, if I had that right-click functionality, I could just right-click one. Okay, so there. And then there has to be one there. So there can't be one there. There has to be one there. Welcome to Save and Play's Minesweeper. Terrific. Now, I think there are some possibilities here. Right, so 2 out of these 3 have a mine. And 1 out of these 3 have a mine. And what else can we say? 1 out of these 2 have a mine. 1 out of these 3 have a mine. 2 out of these 3 have a mine. So, I think I'm just gonna try a random tile down here. I was unlucky. Okay, so it was this one and these 2. Okay, that's better. 5, huh? Yeah, no, that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of these. Right. 1, 2, 3. I won, right? There's no mines left. Okay. I, for some reason, thought it was going to do something. I don't know why I thought it was going to do something when I cleared all the mines, but apparently I hadn't even done that. Okay. So when this happens, we are supposed to say good job. Something to that effect. I think what we can do, so let's get back here. We have, wait a second. Aren't we supposed to have a game over scene? Oh, I see. It's just this. Um, let us save branches scene. Cool. Does that do the same thing? Like, is that what I just did equivalent? Let's quickly, there we go. Okay, and this comes back to here, but we can't hide it anymore. Oh, our signals aren't connected. Our signals used to be connected to things. I think I'm just gonna undo that change then. That's gonna make things more complicated than I need them to be. Great. So, hey, here's a question. Can I undo? You save branches scene. Can I? Well, one, I can't undo that change. If I wanted to go down this path, I could. So what I would want to do then is probably make signals available here and then hook them and then hook those signals up to the buttons or something like that. But I think what I'll do is we'll just take this. I'll cut it. I'll paste it. Delete that. Hide that. Rename this. I feel like that didn't succeed. Copy. Paste. Okay, that only pasted the one node. Yeah, selecting the one node, copying and pasting didn't work though. You know what's easier than doing all this? I'm just gonna save this really quick, and then I think we can just see this in the game scene. We will undo some amount of stuff. Right, so maybe not, because it looks like we, yeah, should have committed those changes before I change things around so much. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of that. Delete game over. Yep, it's gonna go away. We are going to restore our signals. It's not the end of the world because obviously the functions that they are connected to are there, so we just got to pick them again. At least, you know, it's only a couple of things. Okay. What's this? Couldn't save, likely dependencies couldn't be satisfied. Oh, you think you're... okay. Annoying. Let's see. Let's just add a new panel. Container. Give that a temporary name. Call that. VBox container into this. Fix the name. Delete this. Save that. Okay. So now, what has changed in our game scene? So we renamed exit button to exit button. We added restart. We hooked up the signals. It feels like this stuff should be, yeah, revert that change. Save it. And then let's go ahead and don't want to save as export presets. Failed it. Okay. Let's just stage the changes we want to keep. Commit these. Sure. All right. And then we go here. We say reload from disk. And okay, cool. What's his output? Let's clear all that. Now let's make sure that we haven't broken everything. There we go. Okay, restart. Just getting really lucky there with my clicks. But anyway, okay, so great. We still need to do something here. I guess what I can do is just change this label with the message based on whether it was a win or not. I could still see like making separate scenes for like, oh, this is a win, this is a loss, because we might want to have some kind of like celebratory messaging, like some kind of animated sprite or something, right? And we can make those separate scenes, and then we could, potentially have something where like we have some export where we provide the game over, like lose and win scenes, right? And then we load those. But I don't think I need to do that to kind of be satisfied with what we're doing. So let's say somewhere here we are hooking into the game over signal. Actually, this is really interesting. So this is not the way I conceived of the game over signal in the last game, was that it would be emitted and that would control whether or not we are showing like the end screen. So what is showing the game over panel? This game over function. So what calls game over? This. Interesting. And this reveals all tiles, it updates the tile map, and then it makes the game over panel visible. Okay. Okay. So, I kind of like the thing that I just said a minute ago, which is that let's make separate scenes for game over. Either play or win or not. How's that gonna work? Right, so if we have something where we have like text scenes that are being passed in, we instantiate one of them. I guess we can expect that those scenes will provide signals that we can hook onto. Or, I mean, not even that, right? Because so if we don't need signals. So because Game Manager is our auto load, it's like the singleton that's accessible from throughout the scene tree. Our game over scene can just call Game Manager to either, again, we don't want to call game over. Like, we want to call game over, and then this signal gets received by what? Currently by us, which does this, which is I see. So do we want the main node? So going back here. Maybe we want to do that here, of having thinking. So when this signal is emitted, we call this function. But this function currently, what it does is it just brings us back to the main menu. This is less of a, I mean, it's a thing to do on game over, but that's not what we want it to do. What we want to do is we want to, I think I understand. I think my thought was, well, I want to still be in the game, but of course the game scene is visible from here as long as the game menu is hidden. So as long as we don't show the game menu, which like covers the game scene, then we would still see the board, the result, and then we could show a thing over it. Okay. I think I understand what I want to do. So we're gonna go back to here. We're gonna do the thing that I did a minute ago, where we take the game over panel. We're going to save branches scene. This is gonna be game over. Game over, man. We're gonna remove the game over panel from this scene. We are going to, thus breaking a bunch of stuff, right? So let's save that. Then we're gonna go to main scene. Now, I could add the game over scene here, hide it, and then like show it or not. How do I want to go about doing this? Okay, so we're going to this logic should not be here. This logic should be triggered by something that happens when we want to return back to the main menu. In fact, do we have the same code? Yeah, right here. On game menu, return menu. So, think about this. So when we get the game over signal, and we get this Boolean player 1, we want to, hey Death Row, hello, good morning, how's it going? Let's see. What do I want the signal to do? Chillin'? Excellent. So the signal from the game manager just means either the player has won or lost. They've not said they want to go back to the main menu or restart any of that stuff. We've just entered the win or lose state. And what we want to have happen is that we want to show this game over scene, and then other stuff happens, right? So I guess to some extent we don't need to handle this here. What if we didn't? Let's get rid of all of this. And I think can I click and drag like this? Yeah. All right, and we hide that. Okay, so now we have our game over panel. And then what? Well, we want to show it. But I think what we can do is maybe something clever here, where we're going to attach a script to the game over panel. And this needs to be, we're going to put all the scripts in scripts. And we're going to create that. What we're going to do is we're going to say, when this is ready, we're going to hook up Game Manager to a function called onGameOver. And we're going to do some things. We're going to make ourselves visible. So I can just, can I just say self.visible? True. Because we are the panel. Like, this script is the implementation of, the self here is the panel container. And then, yeah, I do actually want, so we're going to change this, and then it is called label here, although it's VBox container. So I think what we'll do is we're just going to do @onReady. Label is VBox container label. There we go. And this becomes label.text. So if player 1, label.text is U1, otherwise label.text is game over. So that's a start. That should make it so that when we, let's see, can I run this? How much have I broken here? New game. Yes. All right, so scripts, game.gd line 60, reset game. Definitely broke something. So line 60. Right, so game over panel is no longer a thing we have to concern ourselves with. So remove that reference and then see what we broke. Yep, we don't have to hide it or show it. There are probably some other things that are broken here, but we'll just kind of play test things until we find all the brokenness. Yeah, I'm going to intentionally lose. There we go. We didn't show the panel though. Why not? Okay. Well, let's see. What if instead of making what if I do self.visible is false here? Instead of making the instead of toggling visibility over this instance, I don't know if that makes a difference. Let's find out. So one, it shouldn't be visible. Game over shouldn't be visible here, but if we hit new game and we intentionally lose, it should be visible, but it's not. So on the remote side, yeah, it's still not visible. What's up with that? Let's see. If true, this canvas item may be drawn. Whether this canvas item actually is drawn depends on the visibility of all of its canvas item ancestors. Aww. Okay. So is this a question of did the signal get called? Or is it a question of the visibility working the way I think it is supposed to? I guess we're going to find out. So, no message. So that's not getting called. Okay. Are we ready? It's already called? You would think so. Yeah. Okay. So that means that we are connecting the signal to our function, but the signal's not emitted. So in our game script, oh right, because we need to fix that still. So on this, so these things go away because we no longer have a game over panel here. What we have instead is we say, hey, game over. And what that's supposed to do is it's supposed to go and call game manager.game over emit. And Brainless is here with 18 months.
Brainless Society just subscribed for 18 months.
Thank you.
18 months.
18 months. A year and a half. Time flies. How you doing, Brainless? Too sleepy to think on a clever message. Fair enough. How am I? Doing well. Doing well. Almost through my coffee this morning. I was actually thinking about you this morning, Brainless, because I was seeing the poll that's going on in Sneaky Spudsworth's Discord about what he's playing. So I think currently Victoria 3 is losing to War Tales by 1 vote. Anyway, all right. Hey, look, we have a panel. We can exit or we can restart. So does restart work? No, none of these work because we haven't hooked those up yet. Again. Okay, so theoretically, could we implement? Let's see. So we want to do something where we say func. Yeah, we could do something like this. Go AI. We don't want to do that. That's wrong. Game manager dot something. Is there something that we can call that's going to do the right thing? I don't think so. I feel like what we need to do is do something on main. So we have reset game here for this. So the implementation, if we want to go back to the main menu, is this. So I think what we need to do is we're just going to create some signals within the scene / node. Signal. Return to main menu, right? Return to main menu.emit, and then self.visible is false. Okay. And then if I do that, and I go back to this scene, and go to the node here, we have this signal. And we can connect this signal to on game menu, return to main menu. When that happens, let's find out. All right, so we're gonna intentionally lose again. There we go. And if we restart, that's broken. Oh right, we haven't hooked up the buttons. Hold on, we go back to game over. We need to hook up the signals here. So pressed the exit button connects to exit, and then restart button pressed connects to start game. Next, likes to flip over to the editor every time I connect a signal, which I guess is good. It kind of reminds you what you're connected to. But yeah, we're gonna intentionally lose again. We're gonna restart. That worked. Intentionally lose again. There we go. We're gonna exit, and it brings us back to here. Yay! All right. It was a lot of work for the thing that we had already accomplished, but now we've refactored it in a way to make it so that it is a little bit more flexible. And could we win? If we win, do we see something different? Mines left. Oh, well, it has to be here, right? That's not that helpful. Let's see. So there could be a mine on either of these spots. There could be a mine on either of these spots. Like there could be a mine here and here. If there is a mine here, couldn't be a mine in any of these spots, so there would have to be a mine here. How about these threes? There's a lot of possibilities as well. I'm gonna lose. All right. I really need to implement that. Right click on the number to clear things. That is really needed. Save me whole seconds. Well, what do we think? There could be a mine here and here. Or there could be a mine here and here. But either way, there can't be a mine there. So there could be a mine here and here. And there has to be two mines in this three. Which means there has to be a mine in one of these two spots. Which means there can't be a mine here. Which means there has to be a mine here and a mine here. Which means there can't be one there. Riveting Minesweeper action going on here in the stream. right. What are we down to? So there has to be a mine in one of these two spots. Oh, this is tough. How many mines? There's 2 mines left, so there has to be one in either of these 2 spots, and there has to be one in either of these 2 spots. So there can't be a mine here. There can't be a mine here. Not as helpful as I was hoping it was going to be. So wait, there's 2 mines adjacent to here. There's only 1 mine adjacent to here. There can't be 2 mines here. Idea, make it a cube Minesweeper, or like 3-dimensional. Oh, we haven't even touched on 3D yet. Yep. Okay. Well, we could put that in the list of things. We need a whole other set of like a whole progression of like 3D games. But anyway, ads are about to run. I'm gonna take a break here because it's been an hour, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. And just stand by for the conclusion of this game of Minesweeper.